Assalamu alaikum. I'm Malik Hodge, your angel warrior of the Midwest and a messenger of the covenant, representing the messenger of the covenant, the breaker of the seven seals, the self-taught one, Master Suleiman, who has given us the Injil, the gospel of revelations, with the Injil key that gives us the understanding of the unsealed scriptures. This is Up Late Update with Malik Hodge on this Tuesday, August the 9th, 2022. This is where we take current events and give the understanding to them from the Injil, the unsealed perspective, the unsealed scriptures of the Bible, and give the perspective to what's taking place in the world from the perspective of the unsealed scriptures. Let's get right into it. Let's get started. She's been up here. Okay. We're going to begin with Taiwan holds live fire drills as China extend their war games. Taiwan's top diplomat accuses China of simulating an invasion as Taiwanese and Chinese military carry out drills. Taiwan military has held live fire artillery drills simulating a defense of the island as China continues the air and naval exercises it had launched in protest against U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to the self-ruled territory. Taiwanese officials say Tuesday's drills, which involved soldiers firing Hawker artillery out to sea, had long been scheduled and were not a reaction to China's unprecedented war games. Shortly after the hour-long Taiwanese drill ended, Chinese Eastern Theater Command announced that it was continuing its exercise in the seas and airspace around Taiwan. The Reuters news agency, citing an unnamed source, also reported that about 20 Chinese and Taiwanese Navy boats were locked in a standoff in the Taiwanese Strait, with some of the Chinese boats attempting to press into the waterway's medium line. The de facto sea border between China and Taiwan. China claims democratically governed Taiwan and island of 23 million people as its own, and has called Pelosi's visit there last week a violation of the sovereignty of the provocation by the United States. The joint air and sea exercises it launched in response has been its largest in the Taiwan Strait and vowed test launches of ballistic missiles over Taiwan, Taipei for the first time. They took place in 6 zones around the island and were scheduled to run for 4 days and end on Sunday. But China Eastern Theater Command announced on Monday that it would extend the drills, focusing on anti-submarines and sea assaults operations. It said maritime patrols, aircraft, fighter jets, helicopters, and a destroyer practice locations and attacking targets, including submarines in the waters of Taiwan. Tuesday's drills, it said in a statement, focused on joint blockades and resupply logistics. It did not say when the extended exercise would end. So we see that Taiwan and China conflict is intensifying from the Nancy Pelosi visit. The live military drills were supposed to end on Sunday. However, they on Monday, Taiwan carried out some defense live round military drills, which caused China to order and carry out some more live round military drills around Taipei, and they shot off missiles. What kind of missiles are they? Them kind of missiles did they shoot off? They shot off ballistic missiles over Taipei. So the tensions are heightening. The world is still watching, so to say, about what's taking what the world's still watching, because they knew something was going to take place. China doesn't make they say China doesn't make threats or acquisitions that they don't follow up follow up on. So this is the fallout from the Nancy Pelosi visit, and China is still holding this aggressive stance against Taiwan because and against America, because China is still saying that America has violated America has violated. Wait a minute. Give me a second. What is it? Oh, excuse me. Babe. America has something else. Give me a second. Excuse me. Oh, I need that. Excuse me. The thing fell. Second. Their one China policies. So this is just the fallout from Nancy Pelosi's visit, and as you can see, it's intensifying some in the region, and China is making it known that it's really showing its power and its ability to use, basically the ability to use live rounds to do this type of drill. The amount of currency that it takes to carry out these type of drills, they're just showing Tempeh that their strength. They're pretty much executing, displaying their power, and letting them know that if they chose to attack, that it'll be a devastating and brutal assault. However, it's affecting that, as well as affecting their ability to import or export, and it's affecting their somewhat their economy right now, from not being able to move around or get in and out the island because of planes, live rounds being fired, bombs, but real bombs and real live rounds being let loose. Ships, planes and things have to be grounded to stay out of the way from getting blew out the sky. So as you see, China's being more aggressive and showing in showing their aggression to the Taiwanese that they should comply with the one China rule, and really letting them know that at any time we get ready, we will, they can take take this stance to another level. And their act also sharing with America. They're showing America about how it just coming through their effect. You know, that it's sure disrespect, and for Taiwan or Tempeh even allowing Nancy Pelosi in the country is sure respect to the one China rule, and that is a sure respect that America has no respect for China's government, and no respect for being told not to come into their country. America thinks that they can go where they want, when they want, and it's not the same for others. So that's it on this topic. We're gonna move on to the next topic. It's a lot. War. These hot spots. These are really the hot spots, and I'll sum it up and give on the roundup or the summary from the Indian perspective, how all these things, all these players, countries, how they fit into the NGO, and where they stand on in the from the unsealed perspective. Now, let us go to the next topic. Let me see. Okay. Lock. Alrighty. I see it, but I'm not. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I got a new system that I'm using. So okay. There we go. Alright. In a minute. Bear with me. Alright, there we go. Oh, okay, alright, I have it now. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Dang. I'm not able to pull this thing down. No, I just need help pull my thing down. I don't need all that. Just, yeah. Just, alright, I got it. Alright. That's what I need. Alright, thank you. Alright. Let us continue. Just a little new, some new system that I'm using to give you a. Alright, this next topic is, let me, I know I'm just doing something. Not getting bigger. So, the next topic is inside Russian occupied Ukraine city living under threat of nuclear disaster. Now, in the Russian occupied Ukraine city that hosts Europe's largest nuclear power plant, residents are tapping up windows in fear of a radioactive leak and sticking close to home as fighting rages around the complex. And Moscow installed authorities gear up for a possible annexation of the region by Russia. Residents in what's it called? Write that down. Residents in Inner Herdar, a city that has been under Russian occupation for more than 5 months, paint a picture of a pitched battle on the front lines in Ukraine's south that risks sparking Europe's biggest nuclear disaster since Chernobyl in 1986. Okay. So, okay, it's another one. Inner Holdor has become the focus of an international crisis as Russia and Ukraine trade blame for attacks on the city's sprawling Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant. The plant is being defended by hundreds of Russian soldiers, effectively transforming it into a military garrison who are facing off against Ukraine soldiers stationed just a few miles away. There has been no reported damage to the reactors and no radioactive release so far, but Ukraine said plant staff had to close one of the 6 reactors over the weekend after a high voltage power line was severed and 3 radiation monitors damaged. So, the war in Ukraine with Russia is being looked at, and it's just not being spoken on by just Ukraine and Russia, but the other European nations, NATO, United Nations, NATO, and America, and the nuclear the nuclear governing faction over all the IAEA, the nuclear the nuclear management team for the world is also spoken out on it, because this is what was taking place. Is Russia has seized and taken over the nuclear facility, and they're striking or shooting or they're based around the facility, and they're taking shots or they're shooting from the facility. However, it makes it pretty much impossible to take on or it makes it almost impossible for Ukraine to respond on that unit right there, because of they're at a nuclear facility. And if they hit that nuclear facility, it's evident. you bomb the nuclear facility, you crack something, you have radiation coming out of there, and it can kill. And it's the largest nuclear facility in that region, or in that continent. So just the magnitude of the dangers of hitting that, what could happen from that is severe, catastrophic actually. So Zelensky, Ukraine's president, has ordered and said, ordered that no one better not shoot at that. I mean, it's the risk, and the people are boarding their homes up in expectation of a radiation leak that can, really, what it could do to not just the country, the region, for the size of the nuclear facility and the nuclear content that it contains can be devastating. So it's definitely something to pay close attention to as the war continues in Ukraine. We'll give you. Let us continue to our next topic. All right. Okay. It's supposed to be. All right. This is the Biden. Oh. Okay. Wait. Okay. I had one more. I guess we missed it. However, I'll pick up on that from here, and no problem. Got my backup. Did I already do this? Biden administration ends Trump remain in Mexico policy after court lifts injunction. Okay, all right. Washington. The Biden administration will end the Trump era policy requiring asylum seekers at the U.S. southern border to stay in Mexico while they await immigration hearings in U.S. courts, according to the Department of Homeland Security. President Joe Biden attempted to end the Remain in Mexico policy when he first took office. In January 2021, he was blocked by the federal judge who ordered the administration to continue the practice that order was lifted. That order was lifted on Monday. We welcome the U.S. District Court decision, which follows the U.S. Supreme Court June 30th decision to lift the injunction that required DHH to reimplacement to migrants protection protocols, MPP, in good faith. A Homeland Security statement said DHS is committed to ending the court order implementation of MPP in a quick and orderly manner. Individuals will no longer be newly enrolled. Newly enrolled into the program. Meanwhile, migrants currently in Mexico will be removed from the program at their next court dates, their next court hearings. The department said individuals taken off the program will continue their immigration proceedings in the United States. MPP has endemic flaws, imposing unjustifiable human costs, and pulls resources and personnel away from the priority efforts and security of the border. The Homeland Security statement added, the department will provide additional information in the coming days. MPP enrolled should follow the directions of their court documents and their sheets to appear for their scheduled court dates as remain. The department said that the recent order does not affect Title 42, a public health regulation that both the Trump and the Biden administration have invoked during the COVID-19 pandemic to remove asylum seekers and immigrants who present themselves to U.S. authorities at the southwest land border. Randolph McGrathy, executive director of Miami-based Catholic Legal Services, said that the Biden administration ended the human catastrophe by reversing the Remain in Mexico program. Over 60 immigrants' rights and legal service groups urged the U.S. Supreme Court in a brief in March that Remain in Mexico had endangered kids, separated migrant families, and all allowed human trafficking. Despite the hype, public relation marketing Remains in Mexico actually made our borders less secure. People were desperate because of the humanitarian squalor they found themselves in. So rather than presenting themselves at the border, they attempted irregular crossing dangerously through the desert, McGrathy said. He added that although it remained to be seen how the Biden administration will handle the termination, it was the opportunity to create our order of the chaos at the U.S.-Mexico border. Jennifer No, we're going to go down because this is just U.S. Rep. Westman Scopes celebrated the end of the program, telling the Miami Herald it is a statement that the migrant protocol program has been a heartless policy. I applaud President Biden's drive to undo this cruel Trump-era policy, one that forced thousands of non-Mexican asylum seekers, including infants and children, into squalid, dangerous conditions, which I witnessed firsthand at the border, she said. Meanwhile, in the mid-July, U.S. Rep. Gimenez of Miami introduced a bill to make the program a federal law. The Republicans said in the statement at the time that the Migrants Protocol program made sense, worked to keep the U.S. communities and families safer. He described the Biden administration decision to end the program as weak and gutless. If the true intent of these migrants is to seek refuge from the brutal regimes of harsh living conditions in their home countries, then it would make sense for them to apply for asylum in Mexico rather than engaging in dangerous and treacherous journey to the United States, he said. So, missed that one on my new piece, however, I had to go to our old setup. However, this is something I wanted to speak on. So this, because what's taking place at the border, and this ending the stay in Mexico, as they go through the system to the legal system to be allowed to enter the United States. However, the whole program is to cut that out. So it's actually telling the people that they can come on in. And it's a strategy that we know or see as bringing in more people, and what they're using, if they don't have to go through the process outside of the states, now they're in the states and they have to be housed, they have to be taken care of. The government is using them and moving them around and giving them health care, assistance, government assistance, and they are also being allowed to take on jobs. However, this is a process. Let me see how much time we have. Okay, I have to move quick. This process is a process that takes jobs and it's taking jobs from the black man and woman. I mean, it just is. It's a fact. And they're allowed to take resources from Americans, but from the perspective of we're looking at, it's bringing in a whole group of people to replace and push out the in numbers, pushing out the black vote, pushing out black people, not just the black vote, but that's what's taking place. You need numbers in this voting system, the way they got their system set up. So it's causing a shift in the voting scenario of in the numbers. They're bringing in a whole another group of people, and those votes can be added, and this is a process that the Democrats are using to get more votes in the Democratic for Democrats. However, we don't worry about voting laws. We're just giving you the understanding of what's taking place. So and how you have to be paying attention and looking at everything that the Democratic Party has done. They say they're out to assist black people, or they're out to help black people, but all their policies are that they bring in are against black the black man and woman, or the demons as we know. However, they say that they're doing, they have the black vote. They're going Democrat. They're voting Democrat. And the whole democratic system has always been in contrast to assisting the black man and woman. They make you think they're out to help you, but what have they done for you? They're the one that put these 3-strike laws, Clinton, mass incarceration, this abortion, the 20 million aborted black babies that they over many of years, over 20 years, no, over many of years. So, the same-sex marriages, these is all programs that that affect the black America. However, this is just giving you the basis, the understanding of what is going on in your face, and they're pulling all these people in there that are taking jobs, not just from America, especially the black Americans. They're the jobs that the jobs that the black man and woman usually have. Now, when you look around and you looking in the stores and around the country, who do you see working in these stores now? You don't see a black man and woman working in these stores. You see Latinos, Mexicans that have murdered immigrants. They hire each other. They're in the stores. Not that it's bothering us, not as a whole, because we know what time it is. But I have to give you the understanding of what's really taking place when this is what's really happening in your face. And all these acts that the Democrat always they ask you or play like they want your vote, and they get these preachers that come in and they pay them and get them to tell you to vote for them as they get paid. They getting paid to get for your vote, but they're not looking at what happening, what you voting for them is giving you. Nothing. It's causing you more. It's taking you down lower and lower. However, that's just what's taking place and what the Democrats has always been about. And I have one more topic that I have to get to before I wrap this up. So let's get to our last topic for this evening. This topic is Hezbollah warns Israel against targeting Palestinian militants in Lebanon. What's going on here? It's kind of way I'm not getting. Okay. Let me see. Alright, there we are. There we are. No, we're not. What's taking place? Okay, I had to fine tune my new system. I don't see this, and knowing when it comes to this, it's always okay. The head of Lebanon, powerful armed movement, Hezbollah, Sayyid Hassan Nasrallah, warned on Tuesday against any Israeli attempts to expand their targeting of Palestinian militants to Lebanon. Any attack on any human being will not go unpunished or unanswered. Nasrallah said in a television address marking Ashura, a commemoration for Shiite Muslims of the killing the Prophet Muhammad's grandson Hassan. The comments came after a flare-up in violence between Israel and the Islamic Jihad movement in the Gaza Strip, prompted by Israel's arrest of the senior Islamic Jihad leader earlier this month. On Saturday, Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz hinted at the possible targeting of Islamic Jihad officials abroad, who he said could be seen in restaurants and hotels in Tehran, Syria, and Lebanon. They too will have to pay the price, Gantz said. On Monday, a day after the truce brokered by Egypt ended. Let me see. Oh, I gotta get that. Okay, I'm gonna leave it there. This anytime we get into the Middle East with this false Israel, it was shared, and the words of Benny Gantz that it was the Islamic Jihad leadership, which sits abroad in restaurants, and in hotels, hosted in hotels in Tehran, Syria, and Lebanon, is disconnected from its people and fatally harms the lives of and the livelihood of Gaza residents. They will also pay the price. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guards will not pay the salaries of the residents of Gaza. The offensive effort against the terror instigators will continue. This is Benny Gantz. Will continue to intensify without boundaries and limitations. We eliminate and will continue to eliminate many terrorists that plan to launch rockets and mortars to Israel. We struck dozens of military installations, which utilized by the Palestinian Islamic Jihad for manufacturing and launched of rockets and troops of the Iron Dome, where I'm currently at, will continue to protect the home front with eyes on the target continuously. So, these is not words taken out of context. That's exactly what Benny Gantz was sharing. His speculation is there's no boundaries or limitations that they're going to eliminate anybody or anyone. There we will eliminate and will continue to eliminate many terrorists. Who is all these terrorists? Many terrorists. Isn't that plan to launch rockets and mortars to Israel? So that's exactly what Benny Gantz is sharing. That he's, they're responding to his words of yesterday, as if you're paying attention to what he's actually sharing. And as I explained yesterday, what who the aggressor was and brought the clashes out, who caused the clashes between the Iranian Islamic Jihad to escalate, and then not who even pushed and made it happen, who struck first, and it was false Israel, and that carried both things out. False Israel pushed and is going through homes, picking up, basically capturing or taking in all senior officials, all the minds, or those that they use. This is, let me this is what well, I'm not going to. This is what that they're false Israel used, that they're going to go in and if you look like a terrorist, what does a terrorist look like? So when you say that, it's just being black in America, that's basically, in America, what a terrorist look like is a black man, because that's what the police. So in that aspect, what does a terrorist look like? They're going through Palestinian homes, whatever Palestinian male or anybody that looks like they're going to stand up and represent the Palestinian people or have the ability to do it, then you're considered a possible terrorist, and that they will abduct you and take you in. So they're locking up any males that fit that description. So that's what Benny Gans, shared. That if you look, we're going in and we're picking up we're not going to stop. This is not from this, but from prior days of when they carrying out that their mission. This project they was carrying out that even got this started. So they're in that, and he said they are not going to stop. They're going to keep on going through the Palestinian areas, carrying out looking for terrorists, and they don't give you a explanation to what a terrorist is. They're looking for any terrorist, anybody that they suspect to being a terrorist. So, let us do our roundup because we out of time. Time flies, and my goal is to keep this in a timely manner within a hour time limit. However, we'll get better. I had I'm working a new system, and to make it more convenient and more professional for the listeners, my viewers. However, I gotta tweak it a bit. So we're gonna start with the China escalation. A hot spot, and from an India perspective, China being the goat that will come across the sea and will hit the ram with will be angered and will hit the ram to take the ram out. China will be this force, and they're the of the 200 million man army that will be produced from China and India. Everything that the India will share is coming more and more into view. America is just throwing its weight around and really just spitting in the face of other nations, leaders, and nations. When people share with you that they're having an inner country squall with another part of their country, and they're trying to get a unification and carry out a task to try to keep from going to having to use military actions to bring the countries in unison, and you, America, send someone to speak and really keeping. It's a purposely done move to come into a people's country and then say that you adhere to their laws and rules of their one China. However, you go and you say that you're supporting Taipei in its freedom, or its that's it, its freedom from China. And you do it and you act like you don't know what you're doing. You act like you don't know that you're inciting a riot. That's what it would be called in America. You inciting a movement. But then you act like you don't know what you're doing and you don't know why China's being upset. But this type of thing, it already shares that all this type of deceit and games that America is playing is going to come back, and it's going to backfire, and it's going to be it's part of the cause that how America is going to be consumed and taken down and taken out within a year's time. So keep your eye. That's from an NGO perspective. China will touch the soils of America here shortly with the 200 million man army that they're going to this take out America. Period. So that to Joe Biden, to the war in Russia, the that as well, that will after the war in the Middle East, that's going to be immediately going into another hot spot, a hot spot that America is the main corporate in causing this Russia-Ukraine war. Easily determined. America has put $24 billion into this war. The Ukrainian country hasn't put a third of that into it, or it might have cost them in infrastructure, but not in supplying and going into the not paying up front for supplies and weapons. So America has pushed the agenda, has basically supported and paid for this stance or this war. Ukraine, from everyone looking on and knowing what's taking place, is Zelensky has been used as a pawn, the president, and U.S. has used the UN or NATO has used Ukraine as an American proxy, American proxy terrorists against Russia. So they always give you it from their perspective, who's the proxy and who's the terrorist. But we give it to you from our perspective, a true perspective, and from the angel perspective, who's the terrorist, who's the proxy. And America has made this war, and it's going to come back and bite them. So while this war is um, causing lack of supplies and lack of gas to the European countries, lack of food throughout Africa and European countries on that that part of the world, because of the grain exports are not being moved, and a lot of the grains that was there last year harvest is still sitting as the new grain for this year comes in. So it's having an effect on the world and on inflations. So with that, from the NGO perspective, all these things is going to come back and bite America. And this war with Russia, America will immediately be going to war with Russia, and that war is the beginning of the war of Armageddon that will immediately take place after the war in heaven, or the Middle East, with Michael and his angels versus the dragon and his angels. And the dragon and his angels are the House of Assad, America and Britain, false Israel, and the six. And you can add on the 6 Sunni nations that have made an alliance with false Israel, are in this with them all through this Abraham Accord. So, and when they're speaking about the Abraham Accord, they have a common enemies. Their common enemy in this is the true seed of Abraham, and also Iran and Syria, who is Michael's, Master Fard Muhammad's the 2 olive trees, or the 2 witnesses, and Iran and Syria. So that is, they will take out the dragon and his angels and take the Middle East for to control the Middle East. And as we move, where was we at? Biden, this taking out. I mean, when you look at when you just looking at what's taking place, and people, you say you want to assist people, and you stop the putting up of a wall so the flood of people can just come right in. But then you say you taking out this law to say, well, they can stay out there and process and come in. However, you have to look at the process when they're allowing millions, thousands upon thousands of people to cross the border. How it affects the voting, what it does to the jobs and the voting, and how it puts changes the dynamics, the ethnics, the ethnic backgrounds, and what's taking place. How you can see this, and you can see this all over America. How the thousands of South Americans pushing up, and look at the job market, look at the job industries, look who's, and they're hiring each other, and they're sending money back, and they're taking jobs that would have been for the black man and woman. However, this is just letting you know what's taking place in your face. However, all of these things that America is pushing is so late in the game now that America is being judged, and it's all these things is going to backfire on them. So just keeping that in mind as we go into the Hezbollah, our last topic, sharing that with false Israel, speaking out loud as if they're making threats and they're already started their proxy war. They've already these steps that they're taking. If you're paying attention to what Benny Gantz is saying, they're making military moves on pushing or trying to clear out and starting to hit the Palestinians, the Islamic Jihad. What he's saying is they're going after terrorists, anybody threatening to bomb false Israel, anybody that is using that, saying they would bomb false Israel. False Israel is really on a war path, and they're manipulating the scenarios to fester and to they're pushing the agenda to make the people upset, to cause a commotion, to get a rise out of the people so that they can use more extreme force on the people so they can take out more, because this is the beginning of the war that they see coming. They are trying to bag up, and to prepare and to start taking out existential threats that are close and near to very near to false Israel, because the Gaza Strip is inside of Jerusalem. So this is their first move, as if you're not looking on, but this is the first move, and it won't be the last that they have. They're moving into their war plans, because you have to look at it. What is false Israel speaking on? What are they doing? So why are they doing it? They're making these. This is the war plans that they are moving into, because they see war in the near future, within days, against Iran. And they have made a vow that they are going to war with Iran. So they are pushing on the Iranian proxies and the people, the Muslim country, the Muslim people, the jihads and the Hezbollah. So they're starting to move out and bomb. So don't be surprised to see another escalation. And any day with this JCPOA, and they're at this last act of getting it signed, is going to fail. So we'll be seeing war any day in the Middle East. So that's it from the angel perspective, and that's our roundabout. The abomination of desolation is where we are in time, scripture standpoint, the unsealed scriptures, to take note. The abomination of desolation, the war in the Middle East, the war between Michael and his angels, which is Master Farad Muhammad, and Iran and Syria will go to war with the dragon and his angels. Saudi Arabia, America and Britain, false Israel, and those other 6 nations that have made an alliance in against the true seed of Abraham with this Abraham Accord. They will the house of Sod kicked out of our land, taken down. America and Britain kicked out the Middle East. False Israel will be sieged and destroyed. The rest of those nations that have made this alliance with them, they will be getting. They're going to get taken out as well. That's the abomination of desolation, which is going to be the shock of the hour. It's going to shock the world. When you see this is going to shock the world. The world will be shocked to see the house of Sod taken down, to see America and Britain kicked out the Middle East by Iran and Syria. But they don't know about their 12th Imam, Master Farad Muhammad. And they're going to kick and they're going to siege false Israel and take it out, destroying it. And those 6 other Sunni countries that have made an alliance to go to war on behalf of the Abraham Accord. So when you see this, it will be the shock of the hour. So all hearts, all the lies, all the deceit, all the gray areas, all that will be cleared out. And you will know for a fact that the black man and woman is the true seed of Abraham. You will know that for a fact that all the lies about who Abraham's seed is and what time that we're living in will be known. The truth will be given to you. Will be able to see that what the scriptures shared will take place with after that 400 years. This, you will be able to see it one side from another one, from this point, this event to the next event, from the plague to the next event, the abomination of desolation, from the abomination of desolation to the fleeing into the war of Armageddon. So with that, I'm going to bring this segment to a close. And thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, 11 o'clock Central, 12 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. And I'll greet you in the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu Alaikum.